Hello and welcome to I probably think is the final video in the IGCSE English series. So, now that last time we talked about writing non-fiction texts, now reading non-fiction texts and analyzing them. Now we're going to talk about writing non-fiction texts. So, you will be asked to write different texts with different purposes and audiences. So you might be asked to give information or instructions, persuade people, argue, or express an opinion. So you have to pay attention to what do you want to say, your structure, your accuracy, and your diction, because you take the role of a guy who is of a person who is going to deliver a set of texts for a particular purpose. Your purpose is not You have to rethink your purpose as not doing the exam. You're not writing your text just for getting your grades and whatever. You think of writing your text as if you're literally going to do it. So it helps a lot. It actually makes it a little bit more in depth and more interesting to read. So as I've written in the pro tips here, imagine really writing a beta letter. Don't live the exam or grades. Don't write it. You have to put your whole body and effort into it, otherwise you won't be able to do anything. So genre, audience, purpose, and style. So who exactly are you writing for and what are you trying to tell them? So, for example, your text might be, as I've said up there, change opinion or encourage or persuade or something. You have to make sure your audience knows and understands. Otherwise, your text is basically 0 points. Because if you just write a text and nobody learns anything or changes anything, then that you failed the whole purpose of writing a text. That's the whole meaning of writing something. So, when it comes to writing tasks in the exam, your first step is to clearly identify the genre. So what type of text? So like a magazine article. Your audience, so like teenagers. So purpose of your text, using my famous example of adhering to road safety. So your chosen writing style, informal. So for example, informal. You have to get these framework areas correct, otherwise you won't be able to how should I say, express your opinion correctly or express your message correctly. It's very vital that your text does that. So, genre, the form of the text. So if your text, let's say it's a letter, then you have to make sure you get all the conventions correct. So like the conventions are the presentational features or the graphological features. So if a letter, then you put your address, you put the address of the person you're writing to. Obviously you start with dear, to whom it may concern. You should know this and sign it properly. So don't use love, for example, love Jim to a company, and you don't use your unyielding servant to a close friend. That's just retarded. So moving on, if your text is a newspaper, please give it a heading, a title. Use proper features and devices such as like picture boxes, captions, subheadings, and use the correct font, please. So take an example from here, the Atlantic Times. So yeah, just basically make it look like it's actually a legit thing. If it's a magazine article, use a heading, write an introductory paragraph, and use a byline. So like here, there's an introductory paragraph. The first rule of longboard hockey is and you've got like a nice banner, nice graphics at the top, and then followed by an easy to read straightforward paragraphs of text. Please make sure you know what the different genres look like, because you don't want, it's a very humiliating mistake. So for example, if you write a newspaper and you end up writing a magazine article, that's just stupid. So again, here's a trap that most people fall into. They end up see the difference between tabloids and newspapers. There's a whole different thing. The tabloids have like a lot of these like very bold texts and extremely provocative pictures at the front of the page. So don't do that. Please don't do that. Audience. You can signal the audience you're writing for by using the right vocabulary, choosing the specific publication, and using the right words and expressions. So if you're, let's say, writing for The Guardian or The Times, then you're going to use formal language, and your audience is a educated middle class probably, and left-leaning, centrist to centrist left audience. So you're going to have to use the right words and expressions. Don't be extreme. Use developed and elaborate vocabulary, and just don't make it look like a kiddie's edition or something. Anyway, purpose. You can signal the purpose of any of your writing by explaining why you're writing. So let's say your letter. It's obvious. I'm writing to you, dear sir, madam. I'm writing to you to discuss blah 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 blah. That's obvious. It's very if you don't do that, you're gonna die. If, let's say, you're writing to a company, for example, dear sir, I'm writing to you to apply for this position. You don't write that, the boss is not gonna be, the company that you're actually writing to is not gonna be happy, and you're dead. So treat it as if you're actually writing it in real life. Don't write it like it just for the sake of writing. Explain your content in the starting paragraph. So, are you paying too much for your car insurance? Something like that. It's a meme, yes, but like, get straight to the point. Don't faffle. State your intent in a big bold headline. So, like, for example, newspaper or tabloid newspaper, royal wedding, massive audience, or something like that. The key thing to remember about all of these is just to make sure you are straight to the point. You have chosen you know what you're going to write, you know how you're going to write, and you know how to deliver your message. So that's basically it for nonfiction text. You basically rely on the facts that you're given, the facts that the question gives, and you just go to town with it. Here's another pro tip from me is like, look at all these examples in the real life world. You can learn something from them. So this concludes GCSE English, GCSE English B, and all the writing and stuff. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.